Good morning to everybody. Myself, Dr. Surendra Rai, Department of Civil Engineering, PSIT College of Engineering, Kanpur. So today we shall talk about how to write a scientific research paper. What is scientific writing? R.B. McEnroe has said, state your facts as simply as possible, even boldly. No one wants flowers of eloquence or literary ornaments in a research article. What is scientific paper? Gerard Bail has said, without publication, science is dead. The goals of scientific research publications, that means why we publish the papers, what benefit is there? See, as you know, to get a job, to obtain research project fund, to get promotion, to achieve PhD degree, to leave a record of research which can be added by others, to receive due recognition for ideas and results, to attract interest from others in the area of research. So for these reasons, we normally used to have interest for publications. So what should be the characteristics of a scientific papers? The first characteristic is originality. What do you mean by originality? See, whenever we talk about the originality, let us talk about the first point, which is research produces new knowledge instead of summarizing what is already known in a new forms. See, whenever we are going to summarize the research work, definitely we can say that is the review papers. But we are talking about the scientific research paper. That means we have to go for the research. For research produces new knowledge. We have to go for the new knowledge, new idea. The second point we can see, presenting a new research findings for the first time. This also comes under the categories of characteristics of a scientific papers. If you are going for the new research findings for the first times, develop a new products or improving or extending the existing one, conducting empirical work that has not been done before, examining the previous work from a new angle to produce new knowledge. That also comes under the characteristics of scientific papers. Creating information in a new or different way to add knowledge. Providing new interpretation using existing and known information. So whatever the existing idea is there, suppose you have collected the data, that data can also be interpreted in a different ways. That also comes under the characteristics of these scientific papers. Apply new approaches to solve existing problems. Developing a new research tool or technique or algorithms, or you can develop a softwares. This also comes under the originality. Conducting a study on a previously unresearched area or a topic. This will also come under the originality. Producing a critical analysis of something not previously examined, which has not been examined earlier. So if you are going to, for the critical analysis of some new things, that also comes under the originalities. So you can see under the heading originality, we can have different parameters, different things, right? And this can help you in writing the research papers, and the contents of research paper, original papers should have these parameters. These parameters we should keep in our mind. Then only we can say that our paper comes under the original or under original categories. Plagiarism-free work should be there. The next point is the accuracy. See, accuracy refers to the factual and correct information, free from bias or subjectivity. Researchers must be fair and honest in reporting the facts without distortion. We should not change the contents. Whatever the fact is there, that fact we have to write in the papers. That comes under the accuracy. Always report the facts about a particular experiments, even if unexpected results were obtained. Whatever the results you have got in the field, whatever the data you have got in the field, the same data you have to interpret. Don't manipulate the data. It is wrong and unethical to falsify information and data. So next point you can see the correctness. Whenever we talk about the correctness, that means the contents of the paper should be grammatically correct and readable. If the manuscript is well written, reviewers concentrate on the technical merits. Otherwise, it is going to be rejected. You can see if others are not confident in their English writing skill, it is a good idea to get their manuscripts corrected by someone who can understand the subject, your subject matter. The next point is the simplicity and clarity. Simplicity and correcting means eliminating unnecessary words. Clarity means choosing the words that best communicate your meaning, right? For example, the flows of ideas from one sentence to the next should be smooth and logical. What does it mean? That means there should be a proper link in between the sentences and the paragraphs. Use familiar, correct existing words except for necessary technical terms. Familiar words should be used. Use effective changes between section, paragraphs, sentences, and within the sentences. Pay attention to punctuation marks, such as wherever we have to put the full stops, comma, colons, semicolons, and quotations marks. That should also be taken care of. Ensure necessary articles, conjunctions, and preposition in the sentences. Keep using the same word for the same thing. Keeping sentences short is a very important parameters in writing the research paper. What it says that in scientific writing, the best English is that which gives the sense in the fewest short words. In the Journal of Bacteriology, instructions to others it has been given by these journals. So we have to make these sentences short. The next point you can see, it also comes under the characteristics of a research paper or a scientific paper. Consistency means maintaining the same verb tenses. As we know, 3 types of tenses are there: present, past, and future. So while writing the paper, either you pick the present or the past tense, or stick throughout your writing. Do not switch tenses unless the contents of your paper require you to do so. So errors in verb tenses you can see. Here you can see the instructor explains the diagram to student who asked questions during the lecture. Here explains in the present tense and asked in the past tense. So actually we should choose only either the present tense or the past tense. What should be the correct sentence, corrected sentences? The instruction explains the diagram to a student who asks questions. We can write the dates in the different ways, but now, for example, you can see November 20, 2019, but the same things we should follow the whole text. Don't write somewhere this date, and sometimes you write a date like this way, or sometimes you write like this way. It should not be like that. You have to follow the same things in the whole text. That is also important. Inconsistent writing indicates careless attitude of the author. If you are going to write sometimes this date, again these dates, that means careless. The editors can see, editors can write, editors can say that the author is careless. Actually, he has not maintained the consistency in the writing the text. The consistency must be maintained. This is also one of the components of the characteristics of the scientific papers or research paper. See, there is a one topic, prestige and impact. Prestige, what it says that a paper published in a garbage journal simply does not equal a paper published in a prestigious journal. So we should try our best to publish a paper in a good journal or reputed journal or a referred journal or reviewed journal, not the garbage journal. So what it says that one or two solid publication in prestigious journal then by the candidate with 10 or more publication in second and third rate journal. We have to also avoid the predatory journals, fake journals. See, open access journals change authors' fees, charges other, actually they are normally to charge the other fees because they lack income from the subscription. Actually, they lack of income. So, but you can see some dishonest journals, what they used to do, they are valid journals for just trying to get authors' money, right? What they claim, they are the valid journals, but just for just trying to get the authors' money. The publishers of predatory journals may post all the papers that they receive without peer review or editing. See, this type of journals are the fake journals. Whatever you are the contents, whatever the manuscript you are sending to that journals, they are directly publishing without any review. So definitely these type of journals comes under the predatory journals. Submitting papers to such journals advances neither science nor one's career. So no benefit is there. If you are going to publish such type of, if you are going to publish the papers in such type of journals, you are not going to contribute to the society. No benefit will be there. See, avoiding predatory journals, we can see some other parameters. How we can recognize, avoid predatory journals? How we can say that the journal belongs to, may belong to predatory, may belong to fake journals? How we can say? They actively ask researcher for manuscript, frequently asking. Manuscript is invited. Like that, frequently they are asking. They have no peer review systems. Without, as I told you, that they are going to directly publish your works without any review. Guaranteed to publish all submissions within a week. They do not take more time. Within a week, they will publish your work. And they are also writing the word guarantee, right? Website with many typographical and other errors. That by that things also we can recognize that it comes under the predatory journals. By seeing the journal's website, a good authors can identify that whether it is a referred journal or a reputed journals or a predatory journals. And they can also use to put impact matrix or fake matrices, lack of good articles on the journal website. As I told you, that a good authors definitely by seeing the journals itself or by seeing some papers of that journal, he or she can say that it does not look a good journal. It may be the fake journal or predatory journal. You can see the Bell's list on this website, compiled by the academic librarian Jeffrey Bell. This list of potential, possible, or probable predatory scholarly open access publishers can help in evaluating one's suspicions. See, if you are going to publish the papers for the first time, that means you are not experienced for publishing the papers in any journal. In that case, it will be always better to consult to your senior colleague. See, now we shall talk about what are the various structure of a research papers. As you know, whenever we are going to write the manuscript, we write these following components: the title, authors, abstract, keywords, introduction, materials and methods, results and discussion, conclusions, acknowledgements and reference. These are the sequence under which we are going to write the contents to complete our manuscript. So you can see this table, what it said that whenever we are going to write the title, what is the study theme? That indicates the title. Introduction means what is the problems? Materials and method means how do we resolve the problems? And results, what did we find out? Discussion and or conclusion, what does it mean? Abstract, that means summarize all the above sections. Acknowledgements, who helped us out. References, whose work did we refer to? That we have to give in under the heading references. So now we shall see one by one the title. P. Clifford Albert, what it says that first impressions are a strong impression. A title ought therefore to be well studied and to give so far as its limits permit a definite and concise indication of what is to come. So for the title title of paper should accurately reflect the content and the objective of the paper. A catchy title should be there. What contents are there in your paper? What are the objectives? That should be indicated by your title itself. It must be informative, attractive, so that any researcher can read your papers and can cite the paper. It should contain minimum words that adequately describe the contents of the paper. Normally, we are going to put 10 to 12 words while writing the title. Most titles that are too short because they include general rather than specific terms. The best word, see, the study zone, investigation zone, observation zone, the A and D. These are considered, if you are going to write under the title, that is considered as the best words. This you can use while writing the reports, a project report or the PhD thesis title. In that case, you can use this type of words. But in writing the research paper, the titles should not have this type of terminology. This is what these terminologies are called as West words. So paper writing can begin with a working title. Here we can see whenever we are going to write a paper, the title we can decide. A working title we can decide. That can be changed time to time depending upon the contents of your work, contents of your manuscript. Here, articles with short, catchy titles are better cited. Attractive titles should be there. See, whenever you talk about the authors and the addresses, National Academics Committee on Science, Engineering and Public Policy has said the list of authors establishes accountability as well as credit. The sequence of authors to be decided before the research is started. Whenever we are going to carry out any research work, before that we decide who is going to contribute what, and accordingly we can finalize the sequence of the authors. If allowed by the journal, a note indicating that sometimes it happens. Suppose 4 authors are there, 5 authors are there in any paper, and the 2 authors out of 4 are going to contribute equally. In that case, if journal allow, we can write that the first 2 authors have contributed equally. If there were 3 or more authors, sometimes what happens? Prestige-seeking author would want the first or last position, but not in between. It happens normally. It has been seen. The first author is the person who played the lead role in the research, as we normally used to do. Whoever is contributing more, who is taking a leadership role, who is doing more work, we can put their name as a first author. You see, a graduate student or even an undergraduate may be listed first if she led the research projects. And even Nobel laureates are not to be listed first unless their contribution predominate. This ethics should be maintained. Multiple authors list approximately in order of decreasing contribution. Who has contributed what? Accordingly, we can put their names. The assistance of technicians. As we know, while carrying out the experiments in the lab, our technicians also helps. So we can put their name under the heading acknowledgements. Sometimes I have also seen that some journal used to ask which author did what. That means who designed the research, who gathered the data, who analyzed the data, who wrote the paper. Some journal used to ask this type of question, and accordingly, we have to give the answer also. See, whenever we are writing the abstract, American National Standard Institute has said a well-prepared abstract enables reader to identify the basic content of a document quickly and accurately, to determine its relevance to their interest, and thus to decide whether they need to read the document in its entirety. See, abstract is very important parameters. Abstract is very important paragraphs. Many journals, many reputed journals, they only simply display their abstract. So if that abstract is not good, we shall not take interest in reading the whole paper, right? So, well, abstract should be well written. As we know, abstract is read after the title. It is always written at the end of the paper. It is very important point to say. Abstract always you have to write in the last, right? As you know, the conclusion we write in the last. But once the conclusion is going to over, our whole manuscript is going to over, then we have to write the abstract. The abstract should be written in past tense because work has already been completed. Literature must not be cited in the abstract. Literature should not be given. Reference should not be given. Tables should not be referred in the abstract, except some cases. Except some cases. The abstract should provide a brief summary of the main section which we have written in the manuscript, like introduction, materials and methods, results and discussions. So two types of abstracts normally used to write. One is called as unstructured and another is called as structured. That means it is unstructured, normally used to write in single paragraphs, whereas structured we write in short section by giving the subheading. And this 250 words is written there, but every journals have their own word limits. Accordingly, we have to move. The next point we can see the keywords. Keywords are, while browsing on search engines, such as Google Scholar or database or journal or directories, the keywords are required. So 3 to 5 keywords, or depending upon the requirements, or depending upon the journal guidelines, we can write the keywords. You can see here, this is unstructured. This is unstructured abstract. That means it has been written in single paragraphs. Whereas this under this title, this abstract has been written in the structured forms, like the purpose, design methodology, findings, research limited. So these type of abstracts are called as a structured abstract. Now, once abstract and a keyword is over, then we have to go for the introduction. So Euripides has said, a bad beginning makes a bad ending. That means while writing the introduction, we have to always start in a proper way. Whenever we are putting our title, sometimes we write the definition of the key terms which you have incorporated in the titles. That is also possible. You can see these logical funnels. We are normally, while writing the introduction, we follow this logical funnel. It is written in the form of a logical funnel, where more general aspect, that means sufficient background, we write in the beginning, right? And sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, and the text should proceed into narrower details, right? From the broader to narrower, general broad to narrow. You can see the background information. Then we have to also write the what problems you are going to deal in your paper, right? In your research paper. That also you have to write the problems. You have what problem you have identified. And then you have to write the objectives also. You have to mention under the heading introduction. That means how you are going to provide the solution for those objectives. And second point, you can see the choose references latest one. Whenever you are writing the introduction, the latest reference indicates that what work has been done till today on your topic, right? So latest reference must be mentioned in the introduction. Not you have to write the old references. Most important background information whenever you are writing background information. If the problem is not identified in a reasonable or understandable way, no interest in your solution. See, readers will have no interest if you are not going to mention all the proper. You are not going to write the what problem you are going to deal, right? So if you are not properly explain the problems, in that case, the readers will not have interest in reading your papers, right? Or in your solution also, you can say. Much of the introduction should be written in present tense because you are referring primarily to your problems. You should identify the gap. Gap means here what the work has been done and what you are going to do. Or we can say what work has been done and what differences are there in those work, what gaps are there, and that gaps you are going to fulfill, right? So introductions provides a roadmap from problem to solution. And you should then make clear the objective of the research. What is your objectives? What you are going to do? What you are going to solve, right? So this should be mentioned in the introduction. So after introduction, the next point, normally we used to write in a research paper is the materials and methods. It refers to the experimental procedures, techniques that describe how measurements were performed, how you collected the data, right? How you identified the locations, and then you collected the data. So all the procedures you have to maintain or you have to write under these headings. Most of these sections should be written in the past tense because you are writing the materials and methods topic once you are going to complete the work, once you are going to complete the procedures. So it has been seen that many readers are skip this section. They do not read this materials and methods contents unless some new things are there. But what it said that a good reviewer will read the materials and methods section carefully, right? If there is serious doubt, right, that your experiments could be repeated, reviewer can recommend rejection of your manuscript. Suppose your methodology is not correct. So whatever the experiments you have performed, based on that, the reviewers can understand whether we have followed the proper methods or not. So if proper method has not been followed, your paper will be rejected at that time itself. Citations normally, see, citation in these sections are limited to data sources and references that describe procedures. Normally, we in the methodology, we are not going for the references or citations. But sometimes, here I've given one example, water sample collection from tube well. That means what? Whenever you are going to collect the water sample from a tube well, you have to pump the well till the pH remains constant, right? So for this, we have to quote the reference. It is an easy section to write because it does not require interpretations. because no interpretation is required. Simply you have to write the methodology, how you have performed the work, how you have performed the experiments. The next topic comes under the manuscript writing is results and discussion. See, introduction, materials and methods are designed to tell why and how you got the results. The latter part of the paper, results and discussion, is explained to explain what is the meaning of the results. Introduction, why we carried out the study. Materials and methods, how we performed the experiments. And now, what results we have obtained in the experiments. What is the meaning of the results that you have to explain under this heading? It includes tables, figures, but one thing you should remember, table and the figures both should not be written in under this heading. Either you write table or the graphic forms. So what we are going to do, we are collecting the data, and that data we are going to represent by different graphical forms or by using different softwares also in the form of a graphs. Captions for figures and tables must be set. Captions should be clear cut. What your figure is going to explain, what do you mean by your table? So captions should be written clearly. That means it should be self-explanatory. So while reading your papers, some readers or some researchers, they used to see the figures and tables, right, without reading the main text of your reinterpretations. So they normally used to see some readers see that your figures and tables. That means they used to know which type of data you have collected and whether your research work is going to suit for their research or not, right? So that's why they normally used to see the figures and tables. And what it says that the results without any bias or ignoring negative or unexpected results to be presented. Sometimes many people are there, they are avoiding the results which is not suitable. So in that case, it is not good. We have to not ignore the unexpected results. Everything should be clearly mentioned. And do not write this sentence like this way. It is clearly shown in table 1 that the Persians of this sentence should not be written like this way. You can write this table 1 in the like this way, that PM10 by TSP ratio in bracket. You can write this table 1. You don't write it is clearly shown in table 1. So this sentence is not good. The others comply journal's word limits. That is also important. Whatever the limits have been given by the particular journal, that also you have to follow. And it also directs attention to what is most important, the findings, not the table or the figure. What finding is there under the results and discussion, you have to write. So discussion usually is definitely it is a very hardest section. Many papers are rejected based on the discussion, based on the results discussion itself by the journal editors, because faulty discussion or interpretations, even though data of the paper might be both valid or interesting. You have collected very good data, but you are not able to interpret your data. In that case, your paper may be rejected. So bear in mind, in a good discussion, you discuss, you do not recapitulate or summarize the results. You are not going to summarize the result, but you are going to discuss, you are going to interpret. You are going to put some logic in your interpretation, points out any exception or lack of correlation or define unsettled points. Suppose some data are not going, some pairs of data does not have good correlation. In that case, you have to also explain the points. Clear, all the points should be clearly written. So how your results and interpretation agree is very supporting documents. So your results, your figures, your graphs, or your interpretation, how is going to be supported by the other references, other researcher, that you should also write under this along with your interpretations. That is the meaning. State your conclusions as clearly as possible. Under the heading results and discussion, whatever the points you are going to conclude in under the heading conclusions, that things should also come under the heading results and discussion. And what you said, the introduction and the discussion should function as a pair, right? Because whatever you have committed in introduction, that should be explained under the heading results and discussion. Be sure discussion answer what the introduction asks. That means under the introduction, whatever the objectives you have finalized, whatever the objectives you have written, that should be clearly mentioned here. So whenever you are writing conclusions, what you have to do, explain the question that was raised in the introduction. What objectives you have chosen, what objectives you have written in your introduction, that should be answered under the heading conclusions. Restate the key findings from most important to least important. What important findings you have in your manuscript, that you have to also mention. What is the which points are which points are least important, that you also have to mention in your conclusions. And you have to also write, also you have to suggest or recommend further researcher based on your research, based on your manuscript contents. You also suggest that what is the practical application, what further research can be carried out, right? What work is pending, that also you can put in under the future research. And one important point, do avoid copy and paste from the other section of the paper. Whenever you are writing the conclusions, don't copy the concluding points from the results and discussion, right? You can write the same things in different way. The sentences will be different. It is always better to write in your own language. It is always better to write to your own thinking. You do not see the contents which you have written in the results and discussion. You remember that what you have written, but once you remember, you write in different way the same things under the heading conclusions. And avoid to write the word to conclude in conclusion of like that. This type of words should not be there. And the next point comes the acknowledgements. Ralph Waldo Emerson has said, life is not so short, but that there is always time enough for the courtesy. So two possible ingredients are required to be considered under the heading acknowledgements. Whoever is going to help in the laboratory, that name should come, or that the designation should come under the acknowledgements. Suppose the technician has helped you. Suppose you have taken help from any equipment from the other department, that should also come under the acknowledgements. Whatever the grants you have received from the ministry for your research work or for the project work, that should also come under the acknowledgement. The next point comes to the references. List only published references, right, in the text or in the under the heading references. But some paper are in press or it is going to be published, that also you can write in bracket, it is in press, right? That you can also quote it. Ensure that all parts of every reference are accurate. Some authors put all the citation at the end of the sentences. This is wrong. What does it mean? Let us see this example. Poor correlation were found between PM10 and wind speed, and also between TSP and wind speed. So sometimes what happens, some authors, these three references, they used to write in the last itself, right? As you know that these two people, the Yeshen and the Mon et al., these two have said about the PM10, the correlation between the PM10 and wind speed, whereas the Trindade has said the correlation between TSP and wind speed. So what I'm trying to say that if these researchers have said about this relation, so here we should write the author's name. And if these people have said about these relations, we should write here. Not all the authors should be written in the last. That is the meaning. And do not forget, as a final check, to ensure that all the references cited in the text are indeed listed in the literature. That means whatever the references you have written under the heading references, all the references should be checked in the text also. Otherwise, sometimes what happens, suppose 50 references are there under the heading reference, But if you are going to check in the text, there you are going to get only 49 references. That is not correct. So it should be clearly and accurately checked. And the well-known fact does not need any references. Some general sentences are there. For that, reference is not required. We can write directly. So whenever once we prepare the manuscript, we used to send, depending upon the contents of the manuscript, we used to send in a particular journal. So normally you see manuscript acceptance, modification, rejection letter we receive from the editors. In a good journals, in biology it had been seen, at least only 5% of the papers are accepted as submitted. Most of the good journals have rejection rates of 50% or more due to the bad manuscript. Manuscript is not written in a proper way. So otherwise, for modification, that means once you have submitted the manuscript, the editors first see your manuscript and they send the letters. What they used to send, the editors send a cover letter and 2 or more least level reviewer comments. Your paper has been submitted in a particular journal. Again, it has been sent to the reviewers, right? So once the editors collect the reviewer comments, that comments are sent to you. The letter may say something like your manuscript has been reviewed and it is being returned to you with attached comments and suggestions. We believe these comments will help you to improve your manuscript. Like that, these words are there. And definitely a very good improvement you can see once you get the reviewer comments. Okay. The vast majority of submitted papers, submitting authors receive either a modified letter or a rejection letter. Normally it happens. Either you are going to receive the modified letter from the editor side or rejection letter. But what we prefer? We prefer the modified letter, not the rejection letters. This is our tendency. The big question now is whether you can and are willing to make the changes requested, right? If all referees point the same problem in the manuscript, almost we can say that there is some problem in our manuscript. If suppose 2 authors or 2 or 3 reviewers are giving the same comments, that means definitely our manuscript has some problems. And it is written here, occasionally a referee may be biased, right? But hardly 2 or more. And normally it does not happen. If the requested changes are relatively few and slight, suppose minor revision is there, minor changes is required by the reviewers, we should go ahead and make them, correct them, whatever suggestions are there. If major revision is there, suppose we are going to be asked a major revision, in that case, you should step back and take a total look at your position. Whether major revision is there, in that case, we have to think what we can do, whether we should submit our paper to that journals or not, right? If you do decide to revise and resubmit the manuscript, try very hard to meet the whatever deadline the editor had established. Most editors do set deadlines. Once you are going to get the reviewer comments, it is written there that you have to submit within 24 hours or within 48 hours. There's some deadlines are given there. Within that deadlines, you have to submit your work, your revision work. In case of failure, you can see, in case of failure, if you are not going to submit the modified papers within the prescribed times, in that case, your revised manuscript may be treated as a new manuscript and to be sent to a different set of reviewers. This is also possible. The editor can send your papers again to the different reviewers. This is also possible. So we should always follow the the prescribed time, what are the time limit or the deadlines has been given by the editors. If the manuscript is really bad, one important point is there. Suppose we can understand if our manuscript is not correct, it is bad. In that case, what it is written there, you probably should not resubmit it anywhere or fear that publication might damage your reputations. Reputations can be damaged if the quality of paper is not good, right? Better to not submit, better to not resubmit. If you make the requested major changes in the manuscript, totally rewriting or discussion, your resubmitted manuscript is quite likely to be accepted. That means what? If we have been asked for major revision and that revision we are going to do within the deadlines, we should expect that our papers are going to be accepted, but deadline should be followed. See, editors are called as gatekeepers. Whenever we are going to submit the manuscript, first goes to the editors. So editors go through it for your papers. So what Morgan has said, the modern metaphor for editing would be a car wash through which all cars headed for a goal must pass. That means you can find the meaning of this sentence, what he has written, that the goal must pass. The whatever paper you are going to publish, going to send for any to any journal, all the papers will pass through the editors, right? So very dirty cars are turned away. The editors see your papers at a glance. If the quality of paper is not good, they send back to you, right? Dirty cars emerge much cleaner, while clean cars are little changed. So you can see that these points also suits for the editors. We can see here, reading badly written papers feels like a long and winding road. You can see unnecessary things we are writing in the papers. That's why better to write short. It is always better. Don't write the unnecessary things, unnecessary materials. Okay, in that case, there will be more chance of rejection. You can see here this how the lengthy this winding road is there, right? So you can see what the author says. Thank you. Once he or she has got the comments. Thank you for your detailed and lengthy criticism of my manuscript. I am sure incorporate your suggestion in my next draft. So author is saying, author is writing these things. See, one example I would like to give you. I sent one paper for publications. This is the title of the paper. I sent this paper to the atmospheric environment. And as we know, in most of the journals, mostly they normally used to keep 3 months time for the decision. And if you are going to get decision after 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, right? If the decision is not in favor of you, that means if your paper is not going to be accepted, in that case, being authors, we feel discouraged, disheartened, right? So you can see what he has written. We are sorry to disappoint you in this instance, but hope that it will not prevent you from considering atmospheric a suitable place to publish your work in future. So you see that my paper got rejected, right? And it was not considered by this journal. Then what I did, the same paper I sent to the other journals, right? Because I was knowing that the quality of paper is good. So what I did, I sent that papers to some journals. That is you can see, I sent this paper to environmental monitoring and assessment. And from this, see, so 3 months had gone already. So again, I have sent this paper to the other journals and I get the comment. I would like to thank you very much for forwarding my script to us consideration. Wish you very success in finding an alternative place for publication. Here also it was not considered. So you can see that how the author can discourage or become discouraged if the papers are not going to be accepted or not going to be considered even for major revision or minor revision also, right? So you can see the previous slide also, it was returned back, and here also it was returned back, but the reviewer comments were there. So definitely I would like to tell you that the reviewer comments helped a lot for the improvement of my paper. And after incorporating the reviewer comments, the paper were sent the other journals, that is the International Journal of Environmental Engineering. It is also a reputed journal, and ultimately this paper was published, right? So what I'm trying to say that we should not get discouraged, right? We are getting the reviewer comments. That reviewer comments is going to improve our papers. We can submit somewhere else. So that benefit you can get it. So a gene, what a gene is going to say here, gene is saying to the others, I am the gene of the lamb. What is your deepest desire? Would you like to gold, power, immortality? So what we see, what we want, being authors, manuscript acceptance without revision, right? We do not need the gold, we do not need power, right? We do not need immortality. So Michael Faraday has said, the secret of my success is comprised in the 3 words, work, finish, and publish. Michael Faraday. Thank you very much. Thanks for patience.